Alright, welcome all. Hearty welcome to you this morning. Rainy morning, unfortunately. Hopefully it will brighten up later on in the day. I want to extend a welcome to those who are joining us online as well. I hope you'll have a good session today and enjoy it. Our musicians are here. Everybody is in place. Let's begin by standing and offering our opening prayer. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanumaranam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagataram Om Alakshe Varde Devi Akshare Brahmavadi Gayatri Jagat Mata Vishwayoni Namastute Om Bhur Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhur Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhur Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Pranapam Yajamane Sugandhim Pushtivarnam Urvarukujamandaram Vidyomukshyamanukam Om Pratanyamaya Deviko Vishnunadratam Vajrayam Devi Avikram Puruchasam Om Shri Krishna Mata Yonamaham Om Aplitva Pulitva Sarvashtam Gato Piva Yashmarit Pundarikaksha Savahya Abhayantra Suchiya Strakshanam Samarpyami Govindaya Namah. Right on the top, sit the water on the stomach. Om Amritopastarnamasri Swaha Om Amrita Pridhanmasri Swaha Om Satyam Yasha Shrirmai Shri Shrayatam Swaha Washing Asprakshavanam Samarpyami Govindaya Namah. Om Kushmule Sito Brahma Kushmadhi Janardana Kusagare Sankam Devam Kushdharam Karomayam Yenabhagobali Rajam Dhanendra Mahabala Tvam Prativadami Raksha Machalam Achalam. Alright, join us at Yam's Purishami Purificatory Rites. Touch first lips. Om Bhagamasya Stulos Om Nasure Pranostu Eyes Om Aksharone Chakshurastu Ears Om Karnyome Shrotramastu Arms Om Mahone Varnastu Thighs Om Urdhone Ujoastu Alva Om Aishtani Melgani Ramstanvame Sahasantu. Alright, the Christ in the heart now will join in the benediction mantras, the Swasti Vacha. Om Hari Om Swaste Vaindro Vidasvaram Swasti Narusha Vishnuvedam Swasti Nastarkshu Vishnuvevi Swasti No Brihaspati Dadhatu Om Paya Prithvivyam Payoshadishu Payo Divyantarikshe Payodha Payaspati Ganesha Santomyam विष्णुरदान्वसि विष्णुष्णकृष्णो विष्णु सुरसि विष्णु दोसि विष्णुमसि विष्णुवेतवा ओम अग्निर्देवता वाक्देवता सूर्यदेवता चंद्रमादेवता वसुदेवता रुद्रदेवता आदित्यदेवता मरुतदेवता विश्वदेवदेवता बृहस्पतिदेवता इंद्रदेवता वरुणदेवता ओम द्यौ शांति अंतरिक्षं शांति पृथ्वी शांति आपा शांति औषधय शांति वनस्पति शांति विश्वदेव शांति ब्रह्मा शांति सर्वं शांति शांतिरेव शांतिः साम शांतिरेधि ओम विश्वानि देवा सवितुर्वृतानि परास्व यद्भद्रं तरास्व ओम शुक्लं वरदं देव शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये ओम शांति 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 भवन्तु। प्रेम से श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय। शरणं प्रभु काशीपीठ और बेदी नाम। ओम भूरस्वी भूयरस्वी वितिरस्वी विश्वधाय विश्वस्य भुवनस्य धात्रे पृथ्वी अच्छा पृथ्वी त्रिगोधा पृथ्वी मही गोम सर। प्रेम से पृथ्वी माता की जय। शरणं प्रभु। With flowers in the hands now, we meditate on Bhagavan Ganesha. Ganesha is Vigneshwar, remover of obstacles, giver of success, storehouse of wisdom. We ask for Bhagavan may inspire us from within to recognize the challenges we face on a daily basis. Bless us with the ability to be able to overcome them all. This Ganesha, we join in humble Om Gajananam मंगल पूजा प्रथमं प्रधानम् ज्ञान पूजन भगवान नमस्ते। ओम सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमस्ते। श्री गणेशाय नमः। श्री गौरी माता ओम रम्यं सुशोभनं दिव्यं सर्वसौख्यकरं शुभम् आसनं च मया दत्तं ग्रहण परमेश्वर।
जय गणेश देवा माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा। जय गणेश देवा माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा।
Glorify the Lord as the Lord. Om Jai Ganapati Sadan Sadan Kalivarvadan Kripa Vignaharan Mangalkaram Jai Jai Giraja Om Raksha Ganeshwari Devi Swastada Parameshwari Puja Karishyami Om Sada Sarvabhava Prem Sufi Gauri Ganesha Bhagwan Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. We meditate now and offer praises to the divine as Mahalakshmi, Lakshmi, the dispenser of prosperity, of wealth, of health, of beauty, of fortune. Most importantly, in Hindu philosophy, like symbolizes a symbol of wisdom. We ask for Devi in a like manner that light dispels the darkness of night. So may the darkness of our ignorance be replaced by the light of wisdom. With this in mind, where?
I don't know. Wanted.
Alright, bear with us here. Without a light, the symbolism is not there. I think we're okay here now. Let's go. Om Namo Alright, I need one of you guys to take charge of the kirtan. Tell people who's singing next. Everybody
तेरी
is.
ममता कितन माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी कितना प्यारी जगाती है कितना प्यारी जगाती है माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी
Last month, if you were by the Divine Mother of Mahalakshmi. Om Mahalakshmi Kari Kripa Karo Hriday Nivas Manokam Siddhikari Purva Mahalakshmi Namastubhyam Namastubhyam Sureshwari Hari Priye Namastubhyam Namastubhyam Dayani Om Yane Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namah Namastasya 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 Namo Namah Friends was Mahalakshmi Mata Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. We offer praises now to Sri Navgrahadyotam, our symbolizing the planets in our solar system. We as Hindus, we accept that the energy on these planets can be both positive and negative, based upon their time of place, our own lives as well as our karma. We are asking today that whatever negativity there may be due to the position of the planets at this time as they affect us through these three things, time, place, and birth, as well as karma, and by the grace of the Lord, we will be guided to recognize them and to take steps, of course, to overcome them all. For those of us who are already suffering from the negative effects, we ask the Lord to bless these individuals, to make them well, to make them whole, that they once more be able to contribute to their homes, to their families. We pray for universal welfare for all of humanity, but especially today, for those of our members who are in some way or the other incapacitated. We are praying really for Srimati Janaki Samaru, Srimati Anjani Rampal, Srimati Ade Ramprasad, Srimati Mary Mahal, Srimati Sita Sinal. And of course, Sriman Munesar is out of hospital, I think. He's back in again. He's in and out like a yo-yo this time. I'm sorry to say that, but it's unfortunate that these things happen. We cannot take health for granted, and if we overdo certain things, it will cause problem. If we don't know enough of something, it will cause problem too. So we need to balance our lives carefully. Use our head, we got an intellect. If we don't use it, we pay. Let us use the intellect for the welfare of ourselves and for those around us. We have to be very universal in our outlook to life, because whatever happens to one affects all of us in some way or another. We may not see the event, but we are all connected in one way or another, and we need to use this connection for the benefit of the upliftment of all humanity. Whatever negativity there may be today, we are asking the Lord to be our guide and guide us to the path that we will be able to make things better universally. We pray for peace in the heavenly region, in the atmosphere, as well as upon the earth. Today marks the birth anniversary. How old is she now? 7, right? 7? 9 hours. Young little Jasmine, who's here with her Nana from time to time, is now celebrating her 9th birthday. She was supposed to be here to participate in Thanksgiving, but unfortunately, the father has passed on. The mother had made arrangements to take her out with some of her friends. So they've gone on that little journey to celebrate with her friends. And the Nana who had made this commitment to come here and give thanks has kept that promise here. So we wish Jasmine many happy returns of the day, long life, good health, and happiness in every possible way. So if you can pass that message on, or then still tell them to look at it live on Facebook page of the Voice of Dharma Temple, they will be able to see it. So with this in mind, we offer our salutation from Mahavishnu, Vishnu symbolizing the all-pervasive Bhagavan who becomes manifest from time to time and age to age for the benefit of humankind. By whose grace and blessings the dumb speaks, the lame walks, the blind sees, the impossible becomes possible. Today we are asking, Bhagavan, may you be the guide to our intellect, guiding us on the path of truth, of dharma, of righteousness, of religion. Manifest yourself within us. Be that God, that guide that will take us to the path that we would like. We all want to. The ultimate goal of human life, of course, is happiness. We all want to go there, but we cannot get there without the guidance that we need and the inspiration that we need from the blessings of the divinity. Today we are seeking those blessings that we may be guided to liberation. Om Sashanka Chakram Sakirika Kundam Sasirika Hastam Sasirika Visham Sarvakshastarpasturasniyam Namami Vishnu Shirasachakravajam Karoti Asham Pandunam Vetim Yatatripatamam Vande Ramanandamaram Om Neelabhujashamalakomanandam Sita-samaropitanamahadam Padamasaikacharuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataya Om Neelavaram Neelavastram Srivasapadabhushitam Govindam Vapuranandam Brahmanera Vipujitam Brahmanera Vipujitam Sri Mahavishnu Bhagavanabhyo Namaha Namami Om Ramyam Sashobhanam Divyam Sarvasaukhyaakaram Shubham Asanam Chamaya Rattam Gauraparameshwaram Venajaram Samanitam Javarn Kalshestitam Snanartam Deva Deveshwaranatam
वृंदावन का कृष्ण कन्हैया सबकी आंखों का तारा वृंदावन कृष्ण कन्हैया सबकी आंखों का रंग सलोना ऐसा जैसे हरी हो रंग सावरी की रंग सलोना ऐसा जैसे हरी हो रंग सावरी की तेरी मेरी हुई दीवानी मनोहर भगवानी की तेरे कारण तेरे सावन छोड़ दिया जिंदगी सारा सबकी आंखों का तारा मेरी गले आने का मोहन तोड़े सबकी आंखों का तारा
महाविष्णु भगवान की जय श्रवण प्रभु और हमारे कीर्तन short version. Okay. Yeah, do that. Friends, उस महाविष्णु भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. Once again, with flowers in the hands, we meditate now on the form of Bhagavan. We call Shiv Shambhu. Shiva symbolizing the reabsorbing aspect of the Atman becomes merged into Paramatman. When liberation is achieved, he is called Vardhata, the giver of boons. And by repeating Panchakshar mantra Om Namah Shivaya with love and devotion, in the puja of Bhagavan Shiva, the sinful tendencies within all of us, the negative tendencies, the dharmic tendencies, become burnt in the fires of our devotion. In this manner, we attain purity of thoughts, of words, of deeds, of mind, of intellect, of actions, through the puja of Bhagavan Shiva. We invite all to sit up right now to cancel away the worldly cares. We all have them. Let's put these at the back of the minds for a little while. Meditate on the most pleasing aspect of divinity. Bhagavan is beyond names, beyond forms. We use the names and the forms as tools to help us to keep the mind from wandering. Let's use these tools today. Imprint the image of the divinity, the form of the divinity that you're most comfortable with. He's that and beyond. Let's ask him to make his home within our hearts, to be the guide of the intellect, guiding us on the path of welfare, the path of truth, of dharma, of righteousness, of religion. This is the path that leads to the highest welfare. To this Shiva, we offer our humble salutations. Om करकमले महिषान् शूले जटाजुजटाय को जगत व्यापको विश्वरूपाय वसीरं प्रभुपूर्णरूपम् ॐ नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते जनानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तत्त्वयोगगम्यम् नमस्ते नमस्ते शुद्धज्ञानगम्यम् ॐ प्रभुशूलपाणे विभो विश्वनाथ महादेव शम्भो महेश त्रिनेत्रम् शिवकान्त शान्त स्मराय पुराणे वरयो वरेण्यो नमान्यो नगम्यो वरयो वरेण्यो नमान्यो नगम्यो ॐ श्री शिवशङ्कर भगवानुभ्यो नमः नमामि ॐ रम्यं सुशोभनं दिव्यं सर्वसौख्यकरं शुभम् आसनं च मया दत्तं गान शिवशङ्करम् ॐ नमोऽस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय विदुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो नमः ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् वरुणस्योकमन्मस्मि वरुणस्य स्कंसजनिस्तो वरुणस्य हरिसरण्यस्ति वरुणस्य हरिसरन्मास्ति वरुणस्य हरिसरन्मास्ति पाद्यमार्ग्यमास्मयं स्नानं श्रीशिवशङ्कर भगवान् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो ॐ गोक्षीरधामनेश गोक्षीर्मया कृतं स्नापनं देव देवेश्वराय शिवशङ्कर क्षीरस्नानं श्री शिवशङ्कर भगवान् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ पञ्चामृतं वयोदधीसममृतं Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shivala Sarvashimalo Manivala Sashviram Shakta Sheta Shunamastirva Shukadrikaranyama Marivittara Udana Moluka Parajanya Nandajasnanam Sri Shivashankara Bhagavan Namo Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namo Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namo Namah. Prem se Shivashankara Bhagavan ki jai. Sharam Bhagavan. Vatushan Sultan Vajaraksham Param Devar Varnam Vastram Kachatam Tapiretam Vastadam
तेरे पंज पे मैं बलिहारी रे तेरे पंज पे मैं बलिहारी रे तुम्हें नील गार्डन में चुकारी रे नाग देवता
We join the glorification of the one Shiva first with the Panchakshara mantras, and the Bhargava will read that one. After that, I have a couple of things that I can ask. Once that is done.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hare Hare Bole Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Hare Hare Bole Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hare
As most of you are aware, the government has lifted all the mask restrictions, but I suggest that if you're not comfortable, keep wearing them. That's okay with me. I'd probably be wearing them myself. Depending on how many people are in your gathering, it's better to keep it on for a while yet. Slowly the coronavirus is ebbing away, but not going fast as we hope. But Be patient. Keep your heart, keep your thoughts up, and everything will eventually be okay. Now we got monkeypox to deal with, of course. So last year is probably a little bit more faster than we had expected as well. But it is what it is. Look, we live in a world where communication with each other is a lot more than it used to be before. So anything that comes along will spread easier. Besides that, the population of the world is bigger than it ever been before. So all these things are nature's way of culling and keeping things on a balance. Okay, so don't be in a hurry to go, or don't be in a hurry not to go either. Okay, everything will happen in its own sweet time. If you understand that, then you know what we've been talking about for the past little while. And on that note, I'm sad to announce, of course, that one of the guys from our area, Shanta will know him very well, Mahesh Mangar, he lives right across the road from you guys actually.
Yeah.
We call him Ripal Nalos Chacha, passed away in New York, and yesterday passed away. So our condolences to Nalo and our father as well, who lives here. I think he'll be going there probably if he's not gone already. Gone already. So these are things that will happen. These are people we grew up with. We used to play cricket together. So when these things happen, they hit close to home. It just reminds me of my own mortality. And with that in mind, of course, we have to do some succession planning here. And I announced this last week that if there are somebody who's interested in joining this organization to come and work with us, then we welcome you. Sean, you're slowed too much, man. You gotta start putting some effort now. You're one of the young people that I had hoped will take the mantle and go forward with it. You're, I don't know why you're approaching it in such a lackadaisical manner. And I didn't want to do this publicly, but I have to spur you on. This is how I learned, right? My teacher said, oh, you gotta get with it, man, otherwise nothing is gonna happen. So you need to become serious now. Life is a serious thing, believe me. And we have to make it serious. So I'm hoping that Sean will be one of the people sitting here not too long from now. And he has a beautiful voice, he has a good chanting voice. He sings good bhajans, so he will be a positive. You see everybody appreciate that already. And we have more people I have in mind, but if anybody else is interested, look, I'm willing to train you, okay, to do the service here. What you do outside is your own business, I don't concern. But when you come here, you conduct yourself according to the format that we've set up, so that you can please the people of this temple, as well as those who are following us online as well. Okay? Are we good with that? So I think for Mahesh Mangar, we'd like to offer a prayer now to...
But sorry for disturbing. I don't know if you heard Norman's two wives also passed away yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Lynette, her name is Lynette.
That family is a staunch supporter of this temple. Every time we need some
I just
pastry
heard
and so
last
on, we
night,
talk to the
last night.
son-in-law, ex-son-in-law, and he
Yeah.
brings it here. But through them, of course, it's coming, and we know that. He has to inform them that he's bringing it here.
Sorry about not calling, but I got a call late last night.
We really extend our condolences to the Norman Sue family, on the loss of, what's her name? Lynette Sue. We really are sorry. Norman passed away a few years back, so
Yes.
what can you do? These are the things that happen. Our time has come too. So for Lynette as well as Mahesh, we will offer a partner here, asking God to guide their soul towards sadhgati, towards liberation. And I say soul, but I mean Jivatma. Okay? We are so used to this colonization thing. We can't get rid of our system that easily. You gotta keep your head on all the time. I try to, but sometimes it lapses. Alright. Now I forgot my mantra. Om Anadinidhano Deva Shankachakra Gadadharam Akshay Pundarikasham Preta Moksha Pradubha Om Vayuranilam Amritam Atenam Bhasmantam Shariram Om Kratosmarpitam Smar Kratosmarpitam Smar Om Ademaya Supataraya Asman Vishwani Deva Bhayanani Vidvan Yoyadhyasma Jajoran Veno Vishante Nalokim Vidim Vishante Nalokim Vidim Om Shanti 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 Ram Nam Satya Satya. Alright, we'll take prasadam now, and the kirtan and bhajan singing will continue, and the Shiva Abhishekam, of course, for those of you who would like to do that, will do so at the same time. So all will be happening simultaneously. Involve yourself in one or more of these activities.
Veer Hanumanam Ati Balavanam Ram Naam Nisiyone Prabhu Man Vasiyone Veer Hanumanam Ati
Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva, Shankara Bholenath, Parvati Pati Bholenath. Jai Shiva, Shankara Bholenath, Parvati Pati Bholenath. Jai Shiva, Shankara Bholenath, Parvati Pati Bholenath. Tujhse vyapak jal talko, tujhse vyapak jal talko. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva. गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भवभय भंजन मायति. गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भवभय भंजन मायति. गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भवभय भंजन मायति. तेरे गुणगाता हरो, तेरे गुणगाता हरो. जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव हो. जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव हो. जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव हो. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Jai Shiva. Nilakanta Gata Gata Vasi, Rudradeva Hara Avinashi. Nilakanta Gata Gata Vasi, Rudradeva Hara Avinashi. Nilakanta Gata Gata Vasi, Rudradeva Hara Avinashi. Mastaka Pada Shobhita Hariso, Mastaka Pada Shobhita Hariso. Jai Shiva Shiva Jai Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva Shiva Jai Jai Shiva
सीताराम सीताराम कहिए जाहि विधि मेरा कहिए सीताराम सीताराम कहिए जाहि विधि मेरा कहिए सीताराम सीताराम मुख में हो राम नाम राम से वहाग में तू अकेला नहीं जाए राम तेरा साथ रे मुख में हो राम नाम राम से वहाग में तू अकेला नहीं जाए राम तेरा साथ रे विधि का विधान जान नहीं सही सीताराम 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 कहिए चाहे विधि मेरा सीताराम किया अभिमान तो मन नहीं आएगा होगा प्यारे तो शेरा है राम जी को पाएगा किया अभिमान तो फिर मन नहीं आएगा होगा प्यारी जोशी जोशी राम जी को पाएगा फल आश प्यार काम करते रही सीताराम 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 कहिए चाहे विधि मेरा कहिए सीताराम सीताराम आशा एक राम जी से तुझी आश छोड़ दे नाथ एक राम जी से तुझी नाथ तोड़ा दे साधु संग राम अंग अंग कहिए सीताराम 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 कहिए चाहे फिरा मेरा सीताराम 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 कहिए चाहे फिरा मेरा सीताराम 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 सीताराम
Good job, sir.
आज हमारे राम अयोध्या छोड़ चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या छोड़ मनवासी बन दुलारे सबसे नाता जोड़ तीन जान पर माया सबसे नाता चली आई काम जाए पर वचन लगावे दिन वेतन होवे राम कृपा राम लखन को माया ममता महलो सबसे नाता जोड़ आज हमारे जाने की पंजर अपने प्रीतम की परछाई नर नारी पशु पंछी सबका नियत नाता जोड़ चले आज हमारे राम बिना है सुनी अयोध्या सारी परचारोई जोर की गलियों की गलियां आंखों से नाता जोड़ चले आज हमारे आज हमारे आज हमारे
शंकर भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. Did everybody get a chance?
Except them.
All right. Now, our family and friends, once again, a warm welcome to all of you as we join today to offer bhakti devotions to the feet of Bhagavan. And as usual, we try to include everything in the service, the chanting of the mantras, singing of the bhajans, and of course we leave you with a pravachan at the end, a message, hopefully that will inspire all of us. And we are, of course, on that message section now. And before I get there, let's join in offering our salutations to Bhagavan first of all. Om Lokabhiramam Dhanarangajhiram Rajivanetram Raghuvanshanatham Arunarupam Arunakarantam Srirachandram
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
When we left off the last time, we had just chanted in Goa. A short explanation. We'd like to look at the Goa in some more details today because in every person's case, no matter who we are, we make errors, we make mistakes. Mistakes pointed out here, of course, are meant to remind us that we're only human. And they're meant to remind us how we can go about correcting the effects of these errors. And so, Sri Ram, of course, is being encouraged not to go into the forest, but to return back to Ayodhya with Sumantra, the minister. But of course, this decision has been made already. And so what Rama is saying to Sumantra, clasp the feet of my father, and with myriads of humblest salutations, with folded hands, beg of him not to distress himself in any way on my account. Now, if any one of us gets hurt by somebody, you think they will make a statement like this? Think about it before you answer that. The person who supposedly has wronged you, would you send a message back? Don't worry about me, my welfare is well taken care of. Everything is fine. And do it in the most humblest possible way. I doubt it very much. Most of us want revenge. Revenge means somebody has won and somebody has lost. That's what it means. And if you consider yourself as being a loser, then you want revenge. But you haven't lost. Everything is an experience in life. And life itself is experiential because each experience builds you to what you are today. And if what had not happened before, you wouldn't be who you are today. Am I right? So all those little blocks of experience that we built up along the way, some good, some bad, some terrible, some not so terrible, and so on. This is why you are who you are today. Every little bit is like a wallpaper, you know. If piece is missing, then the thing doesn't look good. But with everything in place, it's perfect in every possible way. So this is who we are. We are like that perfect wallpaper. Human, we are prone to make mistakes. But Sri Ram is assuring his dad, his father, King Dashrath, do not worry, this is how it's supposed to be. I will continue from there today. There's more that we said here. This is a lot to unpack, but we have to move on. And if I didn't sing a few lines today, don't come to it. Especially for those of us who like to sing a new power. You know, this is the beauty of Ramayana, I gotta tell you. The beauty of Ramayana is you're able to chant it and everybody participates in it. In the other scripture, you gotta chant, but nobody's able to follow. Not as well as in the Ramcharitmanas. So today, we go to our Chaupai worship. And so Sri Ram continues this mantra. You too. It's also a mantra. Wish me well as does my own father. Wherefore, friend, with folded hands I implore you to remember that it is your duty in every possible way prevent the king from feeling any sorrow in his anxiety for the welfare of the children of us. That's Rama's words. So he's assuring the king, the minister, Sumantra, your job is to make sure that you put forward a message in such a way that you do not cause the king any anxiety because of us. Because when he sees you returning without us, obviously he's going to start weeping. Because I give you instructions to bring them back. Why are they not here? So you have to put yourself and be the diplomat that you are, you know. What is a diplomat? A diplomat is someone, I gotta tell you this is a really funny one. A diplomat who is someone who will tell you, go to hell and you look forward to getting there. That's what a diplomat is. So this man Sumantra is placed in that position, and here he has to go and assure the king that Rama's going is not harmful in any way, but it's for the welfare of all of us, which it is. It's the welfare of all of humanity. But of course, when we are in these little situations, we don't see it quite that way. Because everybody look out for themselves and their own feelings and their own little shortcomings. Every one of us. We're all built that way, inwardly. That's why we have an identity. That ego that is within us, that identification factor, sees everything our way, not everybody else's way. That's why it's so hard to put yourself in other people's shoes. Try doing it sometime. It's very difficult. But this is how we need to be. All of us are connected, like I said. And that connection needs to be recognized by each and every individual. Our job here is not to win or to lose. Our job here is to win-win. Make sure that when you deal with other people, you don't come out a winner and they are a loser. Make it in such a way that they feel well that they've accomplished something, and you feel well that they've accomplished something. That is the way humans are supposed to be, because we are all pretty much the same. We're built the same way. We have the same kind of constitution. We eat the same kind of food. You tell me, what is the difference between us? The only difference is the DNA that flows because of our genetic makeup, and of course, the karma that we perform in life. Those are the only two things I can think of. Do you think of anything else? Everybody has hands, everybody has feet. Now, some may be born without hands and feet, yes. We call those people disabled. But it doesn't mean that they don't have them. In some way or the other, they're there, just they don't perform the same way that yours does. And having said that, Sri Ram, the well-wisher of all humanity, is wishing the King Dashrath not to be anxious on their separation. To recognize that every little thing that happens for a reason. Like I said, we don't recognize that reason at the same time. And eventually, when we look back into our lives, we see had this not happened at this particular spot, this wouldn't happen now. So it might be bad at that time, but because of that, we learned your lesson. We corrected it, and now things are going better. We gain more this way, isn't it? Is it true? Yeah. What do you think? Of course it does. On hearing this conversation between Sri Ram and Sumantra, Lakshmana, of course, was a real hothead. You know, anybody named Lakshmana must be a hothead. I wouldn't be not surprised at that. Lakshmana is a hothead. Now he's hearing that Rama is trying to appease him. You know, Lakshmana has always been upset that Sri Ram was sending to him. And he always blamed his stepmother Kaikeyi for what happened. And he even hold grudge against his brother Bharat and Shatrugna. But like all brothers are supposed to be, most of them look out for each other, most of them. But they are few doesn't. And Lakshmana, of course, who was more paired with Rama from the beginning, was looking out for the welfare of Ram. He became very upset when he heard what Ram had said. And he began to utter all kind of harsh words about, why are you giving in to them? Why are you doing this? We should go back and take the kingdom by force. This is the kind of conversation Lakshman has. But Rama just putting his hand like that, stop him right away. Don't say what you're going to say. I know what is in your heart. Shut up and be quiet. And that is the only way Lakshman will stay quiet. When Rama points his finger at him and indicate to him not to say anything. Now, any of you will do that? Would any of us do that for that matter? This is the kind of control Sri Rama has over Lakshman. And why? One is the Vishnu, the other one is the Shesh. One is the protector of the other. They are together all the time. Never are they not together. And so what happens? He began to speak angrily. But Sri Ram stopped him. For he thought that those words would be most improper. And why? The minister is a human being. If he goes back and tells the king that Lakshman is totally unhappy with what you've done, this will only make the king suffer more. He'll be more anxious that he has done something against his own children. But Sri Ram is trying to ease the father's old age, as most children are supposed to do. In fact, nowadays it's the opposite. The parents are taking care of the grown-up children, isn't it? The way the country has evolved over the past little while. The kids now cannot afford to buy a house, they can't move out, so they have to stay with you longer. Right?
Yeah.
They're grown up, and not only are they grown up, they become independent as well. Now in my house when I used to live there, my mother always said there can't be two men in the same house. If you live here, you gotta be a child. Otherwise, you know what you need to do. Two captains can't man the same ship. Otherwise, you'll crash it. So it's the same thing. So the thing that is being said here is, Rama stopped him because we can't go back and take the kingdom. We have to let the king be the king. He's our father. For the meantime, we have to observe what he asks us to do and do accordingly. We are his children. But this doesn't happen in these days. There's always war going on in every home. Every kid wants to exhibit their independence. They should. Nothing wrong. They gotta be man sometime or woman sometime. And if the only way they'll learn is if they learn it at home. When you learn at home, you go out into the world, you know exactly how to behave in every situation. So we want to remind all of us of that. Your kids are growing up. They will say words that might be hurtful to you from time to time. They'll even try to talk your name with other people.
I know that one.
You know why? Because there's a generation gap between all of us, okay? What was okay for us is not okay for them anymore. Things have evolved. And we don't see it because we've got this fixed way about us. We think what we do is the right thing. It's not always the right thing. There has to be a compromise somewhere. And those compromises are what is important. But we are so set in our ways, you hear a little word, you pick it up right away. Just ignore it. It's only words. It's not going to hurt you. Sticks and stones will hurt you, but words, they just fall off you just like that. They shouldn't. Unfortunately, we take those words to be more sharp than swords because they cut deeper. And why they cut deeper? Because of the emotions that we feel. Pain will hurt for a little while and go away. Emotional pain never seems to want to go. You remember stuff that comes back from 20 years. That's the reason why some of us can't get along with our siblings. 20 years ago, something happened. As I say all the time, life is too short to hold grudges. Put them behind you. Make up. Be the first to try to make up. I know pride is in all of us. We're all too proud of we think we've been wronged against. Whoever is the wrongdoer, unless somebody take the first step, it will never be corrected. Why don't we take that initiative? Are we okay with that?
Yes.
It will always happen. No two human beings will see eye to eye. And it's not because of how we made up. It's because of the karmas that we perform in the past. Through our thoughts, through our words, through our deeds. Those are the differences. And those karmas sometimes are hard to put aside and overcome them. This is why we need to do a little bit of meditation and singing little bhajans and so on. And do self-service, selfless service actually. So that you can help others. Go volunteer at the food bank or volunteer in the hospital.
Here.
Volunteer here. You're serving others too in the same way. When you see the kind of suffering that goes on in these places, then you begin to wake up. We all need to wake up. Continuing. Give me a minute, give me a minute. You think you won't feel emotion? If I don't cry when I read Ramayana, I don't feel well. Alright, Chopai. Alright. With some embarrassment, Sri Ram was really embarrassed by what Lakshman said. With some embarrassment, Sri Ram now requested of Samanta, by the love he bore for him, not to repeat Lakshman's words. Sumatra then proceeded with the king's message. What is our message? Sita will not be able to endure the hardships and the faults. Fortunately, we got a shut up shop today here. Right? Because there's going to be a samad. A samad means a conversation mainly of enlightenment between peoples. So the question being put here is, the king has sent this message to Lucifer. It is impossible for Sita to be able to bear the hardship of the forest. Send her back to Israel before we can continue. Now we know what the answer will be, right? But before that answer comes, we have to find out how the answer comes. So the next time we'll be looking at this and a little bit more. Alright, I think that's it enough. Prem Swasya Ram Chandra Ki Jai Shalom Prabhu. I want to thank all of you for being here today, for coming out. And for those of you who are watching online, we are of course on the Facebook page. You can check us out from there. And also we are on the World Wide Web, www.voiceofdharmatemple.com. You can comment on the Facebook, but not on the web page, but you can send us an email if you want to, or info@voiceofdharma.com. If you like the way we do things, then click the like and share with your friends so that our viewership can go up and people can watch regularly live if they want to. We are, of course, here to perform a service. This is our way of giving back to the community that we are living in and we are serving. So thank you to all. We want to thank the musicians, especially in your room this week. Basan called yesterday that he was not going to be able to make it today. Yesterday or Friday night, last night was it? No, Friday night. And I called Brock right away and he said, yes, don't worry, I'll be there. I want to show my appreciation to Prakash for taking time to come today. You brought a beautiful wife with you as well. Good. Sati, welcome. I call all the women beautiful. Okay? There's no such thing as an ugly woman anywhere. Every one of them is beautiful. And if I don't say it often enough, I want you to know that. But if Harry says I'm beautiful, not Harry, it's beautiful. I just told you. You can say, but if Harry says I'm beautiful. And we are appreciative of all the musicians who are here, the singers who have contributed. And today my eyes are a bit watery. I don't see that well today. I don't know why. The light is better, but I'm not seeing that good. We it off. The reflection, is it? And my head is fully shiny today, so maybe that's the problem. The reflection. Alright, for those of you who are celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, best wishes from all of us to you. I don't think we have anybody told me except for Jasmine, who's unfortunately not here, but the grandfather is here, so we want to wish Jasmine well, a long life, good health, and every happiness that is possible for her and the family that she lives with at the present time, and eventually she'll have her own family as well. So that life may be well. Our membership drive is still on. If you are still not a member yet, please sign up as soon as you can. It's $10 per year. And even though the April deadline has gone, you'll still accept the membership. We have one donation today, and it's do not announce. I'm putting here something in the next one. All right. So it says please do not announce. So I'm not going to say it. It's one donation only. As you know, Rohan and my sister-in-law, Rohan's mother, Indra, used to come before COVID. She hasn't come since the COVID. And she hasn't come because her kids still are not to leave home. So I can't blame her. She's highly diabetic and very serious on a condition, so stay home. You feel safer there as well. But the granddaughter, Miranda Tishana Singh, Rohan's daughter, just graduated She's a daughter of Rohan Shanti Singh, just graduated. We want to wish her well from me and Rani especially. She's our godchild. So we want to remind her, of course, congratulations and keep up the good work. Work hard. She used to dance for the temple many times. So she was a graduate also of the Footsteps Dance School. Also graduating is Andre Siram. I think you used to know him, he used to play the harmonium here. Indy's son, we want to wish him well as well in the future. And also a mother for making all that sacrifice to bring the kids up. It was a big sacrifice. The boy has shown a lot of promise. And we want to congratulate all of them and to wish them well as they make their way into the future. May the world be kind to all of them. All right, I think those are the two things that I have. Andre is a hard worker, very smart kid, and he did very well. So we want to wish their family well too. So I think that's about all from me. Don't forget, if you would like, oh yes, I need to remind you of this. If you would like to participate in puja at any time here, as Lalo has done, and next week we have booked as well, and then please contact me. All right, let me know that in advance and what you plan to do. Don't talk to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I'm Harry, yes, but the other Toms and Dicks, don't talk to them, just talk to me, Harry. All right, this way you'll be assured that when you come, you're the one who's going to sit there, not somebody else. All right, too many cooks do spoil the broth. So there's only one cook here, and that cook is me. But this anyway. So also next week, of course, we'll have a big celebration of a birthday celebration. Sham's daughter, Davina, is going to be celebrating 21 years. Now that's a wonderful age. I tell you, I'll give my 2 eye teeth to be 21 again. Nowadays, I tell you, nowadays with implants and so on, you can get back an eye teeth easily. But you cannot get back the time that it's gone. Okay, so when I say 2 eye teeth, I mean that literally. To be 21 again. Not to make the same kind of mistakes I made over time. I've learned a little bit over the time, and Davina is just now venturing out on her own. 21, she's become a fully grown woman, and majority age as well has passed. So, we still got a few days left.
Thursday, actually.
Next Thursday, okay. So she still got 5 days to go, 4 days. So in 4 days she will be 21. So the family is going to be providing a meal here next week, and we'll be celebrating her birthday. Not to forget, of course, that also that will be Father's Day. Father's Day, of course, which will be on the 19th, which is our Sunday. And we will be choosing one father. Okay? So if you would, everybody, all the fathers, only the fathers, will be given one ticket, and we'll draw from those tickets to choose and to honor one father only for this year, 2022. And most of you are already aware, are your affairs in order, the pre-planning seminar that Lotus is performing at the Queen Palace Banquet Hall, 11th Cemetery, Brimley Road. That's just up by Markham and Brimley. And we have Dave Deverine. You know, Dave is used to be here playing the harmonium as well as the drum. And he's actually a very good Chowtown drummer, so he was here in Cambodia as well. How do you know him? He's a qualified lawyer, he'll be speaking. The Bharadwaj Kamal is going to be there. Akshay Preetla, financial advisor, will be there. And a pre-planning counselor, Patricia Peter, will be there. And they will talk about wills, power of attorneys, executive duties, planning of funeral, which we all have to probably look forward to, because from the day we're born, we know that day is coming, yet when it comes, nobody's prepared. You're all so superstitious, you're afraid of talking about funerals. Grow up. You're not children anymore. Don't be afraid of death. When it comes, it comes. Financial planning, all of you are going to leave money, believe me. Don't leave it for your children to fight over it. Make sure you plan ahead. So that means you need to put a will. If you want travel plan coverage, you can have that and more, of course. So all that will be talked about. If you are interested in any of these, contact Rani. She's gonna book your name in. I think they have about 75 people already going to be there. A free dinner will be provided as well. So the dinner is not the reason you're going to be there, I hope. You're going there to listen and to learn. This is the main thing. Food for your entire life is there, but you can eat as well. Real food. Alright, so that will be on
Thursday night.
Thursday night as well, the same day as your child's birthday. So Thursday night at 6:15 registration, 6:30 dinner and presentation. So it will be done by 9 o'clock. You'll be able to ask any questions you want on this topic. So if you have any, that you would like to write it on a piece of paper, because I know when the time comes you forget. And then you forget what to ask. And then you say, oh, I wish I had done it at that time. This is the opportunity, don't miss out. It's a wonderful thing this guy is doing. And it's a chance for us to plan ahead and get ahead too. And I'm going into overtime again. I'm not paying for any overtime, okay? Prem Sosyapati Ramachandra ki jai. It's time for Aarti and closing.
भगवत भगवान की है
Hari
Om Shantakaram Bhujageshayanam Padmanabhyam Suresham Vishwavadharam Gaganasarisham Nirdavarnam Supamam Lakshmikantam Kamalayanam Yogi Jnanaganyam Vande Vishnu Bhagavaram Sarvalokekanam Tvameva matascha pita Tvameva bandhuscha saka Tvameva vidya dravinam Tvameva sarvam Om mantrihinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janadanam Yajnapunditam Radeva Paripurnam Jarasade Om Bar Bar Paramagaraho Harsadeva Shriram Parisarojapal Mahi Bhakti Saraswata Sangasya Vajramachandra Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu Please follow. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Om Yau Shanti Antariksham Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Nashira Shanti Vanaspati Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shanti Deva Shanti Sarva Shanti Devi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Prem se bola Sri Krishna Bhagavan